Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sunrise Tarot. My name is Leah, and today I will be doing a reading for the Earth signs for the month of November 2023. We are now in Scorpio season, and so remember, Scorpio represents secrets. Everything that is hidden will be revealed. I am, for the month of November, I am doing readings by the element that represents you, because I'm starting to do annual readings for next year, and that is taking up quite a bit of time. So do hit the notification bell so that you won't miss the readings that I'll start uploading later this week for next year. But as you know, this is a general reading, so there will be parts that may not resonate with you. Only take the parts that do and leave the rest for someone else. I have already meditated on the cards. I have already shuffled the cards, and this is the spread that I have for the earth signs for the month of November. In the past position, we have the Five of Pentacles, clarified by the Hierophant. In the obstacle position, we have the Ace of Wands, clarified by the Page of Swords. In the present position, we have the Moon, clarified by the High Priestess. And in the future outcome position, we do have the Six of Cups, clarified by the Page of Cups. So let's get right into the spread. In the past position, we do have the Five of Pentacles, which is not a great card to have, so it's great that it is in the past position. This is behind you, although you may still be feeling that lingering effects of that energy, because the Five of Pentacles is a card that represents feeling not supported by people around you, feeling like there's not enough resources to provide for what you need. The Five of Pentacles is a challenging card for sure, so it's great that it is in the past position. In the past, you may have felt a lack of support, specifically from a leader. Maybe you were missing a predominant voice in your life, someone that would have been able to kind of help you navigate different ethical different aspects of morality, different aspects of the ethical side of things. You know, perhaps there was even an end of a relationship on which you relied upon in order to kind of navigate through life. You know, each and every one of us need like a mentor or a teacher or a wise person that we look up to for advice, for guidance, for that emotional support to help us, you know, move forward regardless of the obstacles, regardless of the challenges. So you, earth signs, did go through a lot, and because of that, you are incredibly strong. And the Hierophant reminds you to ground yourself in the traditions that come from your family, that come from your past, to ground yourself in strong beliefs, because strong beliefs, you know, they are there for a reason, and they generally have been kind of formed by hundreds of years, by thousands of years. It's important to look to that strength to carry you through when things get tough, when the, you know, going gets tough, when the progress that you want to see isn't there. You kind of have to be creative and imaginative in order to approach the challenges that you have in your life. And so the Five of Pentacles does represent self-doubt that you've experienced in the past. However, you're stronger. You've overcome many challenges that have made you much more resilient and have helped you develop a strong intuition intuition, a strong voice that comes as a result of inner guidance. You know, sometimes it's important to make mistakes because you learn from those mistakes, because they make you stronger, because they help you create and gain experience and knowledge and skills and know-how. If everything is always, you know, wonderful and easy, then you don't learn. And so it's important to see the Five of Pentacles as a card of an opportunity to develop strength that comes from the inside. And it is important to remember that, you know, faith over time becomes, you know, unshakable. When faith is formed by obstacles and challenges, it becomes so much stronger and so much almost like a light that guides you forward. And you do have that as long as you ground yourself, as long as you do different rituals, different self-healing techniques, different things that can help you center yourself, come into alignment, balance your divine feminine with your divine masculine. It's important, the grounding and those framing exercises where you come from your frame, because in life a lot of times control is taken from you, right? People want you to watch TV, read news articles, because they're trying to get you to focus on things outside of you. So that's a way of taking control away from you. It's a distraction, right? Because faith, you know, which the Hierophant represents, comes from within. And sometimes when the faith is tested, it is important to remember faith in yourself first and foremost. It is important to remember that is because the divine is trying to make you stronger. And so it's important to be aware of all the different techniques that the dark side does to take away the control from you, right? And so it's important to, instead of looking on the outside, it's important to look on the inside, because then you remain in the present moment. You remain in your frame. And so do limit the amount of news that you watch. Do limit the amount of advice that you hear from strangers, from people around you, because that is not always the best advice from you. And protect that control over your own sovereignty. Now, the Ace of Wands is in the obstacle position, and the Ace is definitely a powerful card because it is the beginning of the suit of Wands. It's the first card in the suit of Wands, and so it has that raw elemental power. The Ace of Wands definitely can represent lack of energy and lack of motivation. So see where you are not feeling as motivated and not feeling as energetic. Is it something on a personal level? Is it something that you have to do on a personal level? Is it something at home that you have to do? Is it something on a professional level where you have to complete projects and tasks that you don't feel motivated? And what can be done to resolve that? Ace of Wands generally represents either not taking enough risk or taking too much risk. It's because the energy in tarot is interchangeable. So the Ace of Wands is definitely an important signal from the divine that you have to pay attention to. You want to make sure that you focus on things that make you feel passionate. And because we are in the eclipse season, this is a time to take action. It's you've been preparing, you've been tending to your seeds. So right now is the moment to stop second guessing yourself and just going for it. So it's important to be aware of that. The Page of Swords in the obstacle position, in the clarifying position, definitely tells me that you need to finish things that you start. You have to see things through to the end. If you have a plan, you have to make sure it is a plan that is thoughtfully and carefully put together so that you can kind of enter the execution stage of that plan. Practice mindfulness, practice doing exercises that bring about honesty with yourself and clarity with yourself, because sooner or later, honesty kind of is imposed upon you if you don't take charge and control and sort of go with it. On your own. The Page of Swords also tells me that you need to watch your communication and also the way you receive communication from others. Make sure that when you're communicating, you are being as clear as possible. And in order for you to be as clear as possible, you definitely want to write things down and because when you write things down, it helps you flush out the unnecessary words. It helps you really streamline the message. It helps you, be as direct as you can in a sort of polite way, if you will. But do watch the communication in the month of November, dear Earth signs. Now, in the present position, we have an interesting combination. It is a lot. It's the Moon and the High Priestess, which is definitely going to be challenging for you in the month of November. Because remember, Scorpio season is about hidden secrets coming to light. And so the moon is obviously nighttime, right? It's when the sun is not shining, therefore things are not appearing clear. The shadows come out and they tend to play up on our illusions. They tend to sometimes distract us from the path on which we're supposed to be sort of going. And so there does seem to be a bit of a choice that you're going to have to make in November. And we see sort of in the moon 2 towers, but also in the High Priestess 2 pillars. And so the 2 towers in the moon card, the 2 pillars in the High Priestess card represent duality. It represents, positive versus negative, good versus bad, doing the right thing versus doing the wrong thing. And so this is where your intuition is your best friend. You don't rely on your eyes, you rely on the eyes of your heart. You rely on the inner voice. You rely on the inner guidance. And this is important because right now the veil is thin between our world and the divine world. So your ancestors will be sending your messages, and those messages, when they come through, it's important for you to interpret them correctly. And so you have to ask for help in order to make sure you are interpreting those messages correctly. And you have to ask for help from the ancestors. The more you practice asking for help, the more you communicate with the ancestors and the angels and the spirit guides, the better you will be at deciphering the messages. But it is important that you exercise caution in the month of November, because you need to be careful who you trust. Not all the advice that's going to be coming towards you is going to be good advice. Or maybe the person that is giving the advice is simply not aware of all the inner, depth, of the inner deep emotions, and so you want to make sure you're not taking advice just because it's coming from someone who you think means well. Make sure that you are paying attention to your emotions, because the moon brings up all kinds of emotions from our subconscious that have been sort of laying low deep down inside of us. And the moon triggers those emotions to come to the surface, and sometimes they can run havoc on our positive emotions. Sometimes we start getting confused. Wait a minute, am I going this way or that way? Am I being nice, or am I, do I need to stand up for myself? What am I doing here? How am I feeling about this? It's important to sit with your emotions. It's important to address those emotions, rather than to just kind of shoo them away, if you will. You want to make sure to stay away from confusion, anxiety, fear. You want to pay attention to your intuition, because intuition is always peaceful. Remember, you're not late for anything. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. You're doing exactly what is meant to be doing, what you are meant to be doing. Sometimes, again, the confusion comes from different messages that we receive, and sometimes when we don't interpret them correctly, the confusion can increase. The high priestess is definitely someone who is in charge of hidden knowledge. She's someone who is kind of like a mediator between the good and the evil. She is that person that sort of keeps the balance. Expect having psychic awareness. Expect to have a heightened sense of understanding what lies beneath. And like I mentioned previously, this is not the time to use your eyes, because your eyes may deceive you. Remember that saying, I believe nothing of what I hear and only half of what I see. So this is definitely a time where you want to be careful how you communicate. The month of November, it's a time where you are kind of encouraged to look on the inside and do what you believe is best for you. And don't be too anxious about confusion. It's a normal experience to sometimes have some confusion regarding how you feel or which path you should take. As long as you ask for help from your ancestors, as long as you listen to your intuition, as long as you meditate and stare at a candle for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, the answers will come to you. They will find you. Be aware of the dreams that you have, and if you can, write the dreams down, because the dreams that you have carry messages from the divine world, and so it's important to pay attention to those. In the future outcome position, you have the Six of Cups clarified by the Page of Cups, which is great because it tells me that there is a new positive beginning coming about towards the end of November, when the Sagittarius season starts. The Six of Cups is a card of peace. The Six of Cups is a card of kind of channeling your inner child and feeling that optimism and happiness. Some of you may be going on a vacation and taking a little bit of a time out for yourself, but there are positive changes, and there is an advantage that is coming to you. It's up to you to recognize that advantage, and it's up to you to make it count, to take full use of it, if you will. Sometimes the Six of Cups also means that your past is returning to you. So there may be someone from your past reaching out to you and wanting to have a connection with you, wanting to rebuild that bridge, kind of throwing you that rope, because they are missing your energy and because they want to sort of see more of you and experience more of your energy. The Page of Cups definitely is a really positive card, telling me that there is an offer on the way, there is an opportunity on the way as it relates to the Six of Cups. So there may be an offer that's coming from a person you've known in your past, that's going to really kind of create an optimistic feeling for you towards the end end of November. But let's see what we can clarify with the Shaman Dream Oracle card that I pulled. And we have Lost Compass, getting back to integrity. When the Lost Compass appears, it is a sign that you need to find your way back home, back to your source and center, relying on your intuition to get there. So like I mentioned, be wary of the signs telling you to turn here or there, or to avoid this or that person or situation, because the outward indicators are not as reliable right now. Be careful not to believe, everything that you are hearing, and instead rely on your inner sense of direction and guidance. The lost compass is a blessing in disguise, because you sometimes have to lose yourself in order to find the path to discover a new course. True north never changes, so reset your way to your heart compass and trust your deepest feelings even when others do not support them. Remember, you are not lost. You simply do not know where you are going right now. Lost is a state of mind. Not knowing where you're going is an opportunity to find a way to a new path. I also pulled an energy oracle card, and we have action. The two horses on this card represent inner action and outer action. The white horse represents inner action. The black horse represents the outer action. Or maybe it's the other way around. I don't remember exactly. But it is important to, listen to your intuition and move forward as that intuition dictates you. You know your heart better than anyone else. So it is important to focus on developing that inner guidance. And the way you do that is by meditating, is by taking walks in nature, so that your mind sees, a change of scenery. Look at the trees, look at the birds, focus on the present. The harder you focus on the present, the better the connection with the intuition you're going to have. And remember, others are not wanting you to focus on the present. Other people either distract you by, oh my gosh, did you see these news, what have you, or they keep you focused on the past. Oh, well, in the past, or in the future. None of that helps you focus on the present. The only real time is the present time. You don't have the past, you don't have the future. The only thing that you have is the present time. What are you doing in the time of now? What are you spending your time on today? What have you accomplished today? What are you proud of today? What type of thoughts are you having today? You have no control over the news. Stop focusing on things that you have no control over. That is the way that people use in order to steal your time, in order to steal your control from your life. When you stand very much grounded in yourself, when you operate based out of your frame, what is it that you know? What is it that you want? What is it that you don't want? Focus on the time that you have today. And please, please, please don't get distracted. The millionaires don't have better lives. The billionaires don't have better lives. The bosses who sit in corner offices don't have better lives. The people that live in big homes and walk around with Gucci purses or Chanel purses don't have better lives. Your life is a great life. It is an amazing life. So make sure you focus on now and don't allow yourself to be distracted by either being pulled back into the past or pulled back into the future, or being distracted in a way that kind of siphons your time. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope that you will be back for the annual readings as well. If you did, if you would, please do share, like, and subscribe. It helps my channel enormously. And I hope that the month of November is absolutely amazing for you. Focus on yourself. Be careful communicating with others. Make sure that you do grounding exercises, stare at a candle, write something on a bay leaf, burn it in the candle, and kind of set an intention. Do those types of things that can help you really kind of enrich your life. Your life is the most amazing life. You are an incredible collaborator of this collective humanity that we are all part of. So make sure that you are sending out good vibrations as you move through the month of November. Thank you so much and have a great month.